You're listening to the Mile You're In podcast. Everything running related, from 100 meters to 100 miles. And now, here's your host, Phil Patterson Jr.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mile You're In podcast. I know it's been a while, but it wasn't intentional. I've been sick. If you can't hear it now, I'm still sick. Some stomach bugs, colds, fevers. December's been pretty annoying, if I can say so. Because of that, I really want to thank my two Patreon supporters, Becky and Francine, who, despite lack of content recently, have continued to support me, so I truly appreciate that. And as far as the topic, I just want to get right to it. It's something that's been bothering me for months now, but recently when I was out running, listening to music, I heard a song that I've played many times before, and this particular time the lyrics just tugged on my heart, and I felt like I wanted to get this message out. The song is called I'll Find You by Lecrae, and the lyrics say, "Don't get bitter, get better. I'm working on switching them letters." Experiencing failure, especially consistently, can lead to bitterness. It's okay to be frustrated, to be disappointed, but to not be happy for someone that succeeds or to even wish for them to fail is not the attitude you want. You take it even further when those people are friends, people that have genuinely supported you, rooted for you, cared for you, and wanted you to succeed. So obviously it's not intentional. It's a mindset that overcomes your thoughts and emotions because of the current or recent situations you've gone through. You don't like feeling that way, but just like depression, you try getting away from people to avoid seeing those triggering things, only to find yourself deeper in it, because getting away from that and isolating yourself only makes it worse. So you really want to remind yourself that, like everything else in life, time heals it and you're going to get over it, but you have to allow yourself that time and that period to go through whatever it is you're going through to get better and to heal and to recover, because it's not just going to change overnight. You're not just going to flip some script, read something. It's going to take time for those emotions and that reaction that you get from whatever it is to sting less and less over time. You have to evaluate the situation. What can you do to get better? You have to understand what is in your control and what isn't. What is realistic and what's not. What you can do to improve your chances and opportunities in life will help with that. If you think about it, we don't tend to get bitter over things, people, situations, anything like that when we do have the right mindset. For example, every time I see someone win the lottery, especially someone locally, sure, I'm getting jealous and wishing that was me, but I don't even play that often to have the chance that they do. But I also know if I played and kept losing, I'd put myself in that position to start feeling that bitterness towards others that won. And that's where I'd have to remind myself that it's luck and it's not in my control. So when it came to my running, my 3 recent DNFs really put me deep into this struggle, because knowing I accomplished the goal 9 straight times before failing these 3 straight times was extremely depressing. Each failure made it worse, and I sunk deeper into that. It wasn't until I truly evaluated myself in the last year, realizing I didn't set myself up for success like I had in the past. My failures were my fault and there was nobody else to blame. And then I thought about social media and how I was using it, and that can be a slippery road because not everyone is honest and the perceptions they put out there aren't always reality. So if you follow people that are truly transparent and open to both sides of their journey, it definitely helps, because as I scrolled through day after day and I was seeing people achieve PRs and milestones, it was making things worse until I looked deeper into their journey to see how many times they had failed, some even very recently. So it brought me back to the amount of times I had failed when I was trying to run sub 20 minutes in a 5K, to the point it almost broke me down to giving up. But I kept trying, I kept working to improve, and then the day finally came that I accomplished it. and I felt relieved. But I was also proud that I didn't give up, because many times when it got to that point, I just gave up and lost interest. Recently, I'd say the last year or so, I have allowed myself to get so lost in the dream of running a sub 24-hour 100-mile race that even though I wasn't putting in the required training, it was causing me to lose sight of the main goal of actually finishing these races. Can I do it? Sure. Am I willing to put in the time and effort to do it? I don't think so. I doubt it, to be honest. It just seems like it would take away from the fun of the sport and kill my passion, which I've experienced many times since I started in June 2013. And I don't like that feeling, and I don't want to go down that road. If, it's going to happen, but if I'm putting myself in that position to create that scenario, then it's only making it worse for me and harder for me. So when these failures start leading to me hoping others fail and that they're miserable just like I am, that's when I know I've got a serious problem and I need to fix it. Because as time passed, since those 3 races, I got past the negativity, the emotions, the bitterness. I reevaluated myself and goals, the willingness I had to chase them at all costs. I thought about the song again, and I really have been working on switching those letters. I found that being happy for others who succeeded during my time of failure, it was actually uplifting me emotionally more than rooting against them. We've all heard that pride comes before the fall. I had to remind myself to be humble. Look, I'm a Bills fan, and we're not even going to go into that, but I think about the coach, Sean McDermott, who always preaches staying humble and hungry. So when it came to these races and the goals, I was hungry, but I wasn't humble. I was letting my pride get in the way, and it was only holding me back. So sure, be confident, have faith, trust the process, know there will be bumps in the road. Don't expect everything to go perfectly. Don't beat yourself up over these mistakes and failed attempts. Think of the Rocky quote. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward. When you get knocked down, what do? You get up. When you get up, what do you do to prevent getting knocked down again? What do you do to prevent yourself from giving up when you get knocked down? Think about this as we end the year and begin 2022, because many people will start making New Year's resolutions, and we all know how many of those end up being failures. The ones that are successful, most of the time, are altered multiple times. When you start to experience the feeling of bitterness, it's time to evaluate yourself. I think of another song by Andy Mineo. It's titled Bitter, and he says, don't just scoop the dust, remove the rug. And I thought about it, we can keep hiding or covering the root cause to our problems, but that's not going to help. We have to actually address it, fix it, or remove it. We can't keep sugarcoating it and expecting it to fix itself or go away on its own. There has to be an effort put in on our end. And I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but anyone who has read the Bible has read faith without works is dead. So you have to put in the work, the time, the effort. You can't just hope something is going to happen and expect it to happen. With that said, I don't think there's going to be another episode before 2022. So I do want to just take a second to wish you all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope that you all are safe, and just take this time to really work on switching them letters.
Thanks for listening to the Mile You're In podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out previous episodes and more at HeelStriker954.com.